You drag the razor down one cheek. Warm water runs over your fingers. The blade makes a soft scraping sound. A line of dark stubble collects near the drain. When you look up, the mirror has divided your face almost perfectly. One side is clean and exposed. The other has more visual weight around the mouth and jaw. The difference is only hair. Your bones' expression and voice remain the same. Yet the two halves seem to belong to men of slightly different ages. That visual contradiction leads to a biological question. Why did male facial hair remain after humans lost most of their visible body fur? Touch your forearm and the skin feels nearly bare. Turn it toward a window and fine hairs catch the light. Much of the human body is covered with vellus hair. These fibers are short, thin, and difficult to see from a normal distance. Beard hair belongs to another category. Its terminal fibers grow longer, darker, and much thicker. Human evolution changed the hair produced across much of the body. A reduction in visible fur did not require every follicle to disappear. Many follicles continued producing smaller fibers. Hair in a few regions remained or became conspicuously terminal. The result is the uneven pattern visible on your own skin. At ordinary viewing distance, vellus hair creates the appearance of bare skin. Magnification reveals the follicles and the fine fibers emerging from them. The change affected how hairy the body looked and how much insulation the hair provided. Sweating gives that pattern an environmental context. Humans have an unusually high density of eccrine sweat glands. They release watery sweat directly onto the skin. As that water evaporates, it carries heat away. A thick coat would hold more moisture and still air close to the body. Finer body hair leaves more skin exposed to moving air and evaporation. Researchers still debate the complete history of human hair reduction. Thermoregulation remains one of the leading explanations. An active primate moving through hot conditions benefits from releasing heat. That advantage becomes especially important during sustained walking or running. Fur also protects against sunlight, cold abrasion, and insects. Reducing it created costs alongside the cooling benefits. Those competing pressures acted over many generations. A beard covers only a small part of the body. Whatever thermal effect it has, it does not recreate a coat across the torso and limbs. That removes part of the contradiction. Facial hair could persist under pressures different from those acting on most body hair. The age at which a beard appears provides an important clue. During childhood, facial follicles mainly produce fine hair. Around puberty, rising androgen activity causes many of them to produce larger terminal fibers. The change unfolds gradually. Sparse patches may become stubble. Connections form along the jaw. Density can continue developing through early adulthood. Genes and local follicle biology shape this process. Androgens circulate through the body. Individual follicles respond according to their location and inherited sensitivity. The same class of hormones can stimulate beard growth. In susceptible scalp follicles, androgen signaling can contribute to progressive miniaturization. Two men with broadly normal hormone levels can therefore grow very different beards. Beard thickness is a poor substitute for a hormone test. Puberty makes facial hair relevant to social perception. It becomes visible while a male body is entering adulthood. It also appears on the part of the body people examine most closely during an encounter. Eyes, mouth, jaw shape, movement, and expression are read together, often within seconds. Controlled experiments can isolate the beard from the man beneath it. Researchers have photographed the same men with different amounts of facial hair. Identity and underlying facial structure remain constant. Other people then rate the different versions. Bearded faces are often judged older. They are also judged more masculine, more dominant, and sometimes higher in perceived status. In one line of experiments, anger was recognized more quickly or rated more strongly when the face was bearded. Attractiveness produces a less orderly result. Preferences vary with beard length, the faces being compared, the observers, and the social context. Full beards do not receive a universal advantage. That matters because female preference alone does not neatly explain the evidence. Facial hair also affects how men evaluate other men. Competition, caution, and status perception may therefore have contributed to its evolutionary history. The surrounding faces can influence those ratings. In experiments where one beard condition was made, relatively uncommon, rare styles sometimes became more attractive. That result concerns modern attention and preference. It cannot establish why beards originally evolved. It does show that the social effect of facial hair changes with context. Consider one brief prehistoric encounter. The details are a plausible reconstruction, not a recorded event. Several families arrive at a place where people gather periodically. They exchange materials and renew social contact. Among the visitors is a young adult whose facial hair has become more visible since the groups last met. Near the water, people sort stone and mend carrying straps. Different households divide the food they have brought. Children move among adults who already know one another. The visitors can be seen before they reach the busiest part of the gathering. People have time to look up and register who has arrived. A few observers initially place the young visitor among the adult men. They once remembered him as a boy. Strangers have even less information. His beard shifts the first estimate of his age and physical maturity. His actions will soon provide better evidence. The first impression arrives earlier. No archaeological object can recover that moment. Modern perception experiments cannot demonstrate exactly what Paleolithic observers thought. They establish a present-day effect that fits an evolutionary possibility. The gap between those statements must remain visible. Sexual selection offers more than one possible route. Mate choice may have contributed where some degree of facial hair was preferred. Competition among men could also favor an appearance associated with maturity or formidability. Those pressures can operate together. They can also change across populations and interact with cultural preferences. Other explanations may have contributed. Facial hair provides limited insulation and shades part of the skin. Its strong association with male puberty makes a purely climatic account incomplete. Chance inherited developmental pathways and changing costs may also preserve variation. Evolution does not require a trait to serve one single purpose. Its combined effects only need to avoid becoming consistently disadvantageous. Beard thickness varies widely among individuals. Genetic studies have identified multiple regions of the genome associated with that variation. Modern distributions cannot simply be projected into deep prehistory. Populations moved, mixed, and changed. A reconstruction can show natural variation within a group. Assigning one exact beard pattern to an ancient population requires more evidence than general biology can provide. Cooling pressures help explain the reduction of thick body fur. Developmental biology explains how and when beard hair grows. Perception studies show that facial hair can alter estimates of age, masculinity, dominance, and status. Together, those findings make a social role plausible. The original balance of selection pressures remains uncertain. Sharp stone edges could shorten hair in principle. Direct evidence for Paleolithic beard shaving is scarce. Plucking and other grooming methods were also physically possible. Researchers cannot identify the first person who deliberately reshaped a beard. They also cannot recover what that choice meant. Archaeological finds do show that prehistoric people deliberately altered visible appearance. Perforated shells with useware were worn as personal ornaments. Some finds also preserve pigment traces. These objects do not establish a beard style. They do show sustained attention to how bodies appeared to other people. Once facial hair could be shortened or removed, inherited growth became something culture could regulate. The faucet is still running. In the mirror, one cheek remains covered and the other is smooth. You can finish shaving. You can leave the beard alone. You can change its shape. Each choice may alter how the face is initially perceived. Nothing else about the person standing at the sink has changed.